Dear students, welcome to this session. In this session, we are going to discuss about winding up of a company. We know there are several stages involved, starting from formation of a company, and the last stage is winding up of a company. It is nothing but closing down of a business for several reasons. We'll discuss about the meaning. It is a proceedings by which a company is dissolved. A business or part of a business brought to an end. We can say it is a last stage of a company or last breath of a company. In other words, we can mean it is a way of dissolving a company by selling of its assets or undertakings. Say, for example, a company may have furnitures and fittings, buildings, land, vehicles, or any other fixed assets. So, when winding up has taken place, all the assets being disposed and all the outstanding incomes should be received. Let us now move on to modes of winding up of a company. There are two common modes of winding up, namely voluntary winding up of a company and compulsory winding up of a company. Voluntary winding up of a company may be take place in two ways, that is members voluntary winding up and creditors voluntary winding up. Voluntary winding up of a company is possible only when a company is in solvent position. That is, it may able to pay its debts or its financial position is sound. Then only it can go for voluntary winding up. Whereas compulsory winding up is made in the circumstance when a company is being announced as insolvent, or in other words it is unable to pay its debts. That is known as compulsory winding up or compulsory liquidation. Let's now discuss about one by one. First, voluntary winding up. So voluntary winding up can be happen by two ways, by passing ordinary resolution or by passing special resolution. Ordinary resolution or special resolution can be passed in the annual general meeting of a company. Let us move on to consequences of voluntary winding up. So while we wind up, there are many parties, that is stakeholders, creditors, shareholders may get suffer, isn't it? So we have to pay off them for their investment. So as we said already, while we wind up or liquidate the company, we must pay off the stakeholders in this order. First, we have to pay the members or shareholders contributions, and then creditors. After that, preferential shareholders. We know there are several types of shareholders, especially preference shareholders, equity shareholders. So preference shareholders must be paid, given priority before we move on to equity shareholders. In this order, after preferential shareholders, the servants, officers of the company, and then consequences as to proceedings against the company. At last, there must be a cost incurred for winding up of a company. Yes, you may not imagine. There are several costs involved while we wind up our company. Those costs should be settled. At last, equity shareholders should be given their settlements. Let us now move on to winding up by the court or tribunal or compulsory winding up. This is also known as compulsory winding up. While the company is winding up by order of the court, it should follow these proceedings. Let us now discuss about The circumstances for compulsory winding up. Number one, special resolution passed by the company in annual general meeting or extraordinary general meeting. Number two, default in delivering the statutory report. That is, the company must deliver or surrender statutory reports to the registrar of the company. If the company fails to deliver the statutory report, for that case also, it may be instructed to wind up. Next, failure to commence or suspension of business. That is, a company is issued letter of commencement of business. After receiving this certificate, the company is not commenced the business for more than 12 months. It will be requested or insisted to wind up. Next, reduction in membership. We have already discussed about the minimum and maximum number of members required for both private as well as public and one man company. If the company is not satisfied these elements, for that reason also it may insisted to wind up by the court. Next case, inability to pay its debts. Whenever a company is unable to pay its debts, for that reason also it may be insisted to wind up by the court or tribunal. At last, just and equitable. That is, if a company is making harm to the interest of the public uh, for one or many reasons, say for example, it is polluting the environment, soil, or nature to extraordinary manner, for that reason also a company may be insisted to wind up. So these are all the grounds when a company is facing compulsory winding up by the court or tribunal. These proceedings can be stopped or refused by the following procedures. That is, by giving petition. Number two, powers of tribunal, consequences of winding up order, procedure of winding up by the tribunal, committee of inspection, dissolution of a company, and so on. Petition can be given by registrar of the company or promoters, creditors, shareholders, or directly through the company can file petition to stop the winding up procedure or order of the court. Because if a company is winded up, there are stakeholders such as consumers, employees, suppliers, shareholders, creditors, many of them will suffer. So only petition can be filed. After due inquiry, it may or may not be refused to wind up. Even central government can file petition against the winding up for one or more reasons. I hope you can understand and follow. Thanks for watching. Ask your doubts in comment box. We'll meet on next session.